Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been looking for some watercolor graphite pencils just to use underneath my watercolor works for my sketching, because I just normally use regular graphite pencils, and then if you have them too dark you can see the lines through your piece. So I wanted to try out some water soluble ones, and I found these Derwent water soluble sketching pencils, and I thought, great, I'm going to get those and try them out and see how I like them. And then after I bought these, I also found these Faber Castell Graphite Aquarelle pencils. So I thought, well, geez, why don't I get both and I'll do like a little comparison and see which ones I like better, and then I'll give that information to you guys. So first off, I'm just going to talk about packaging. Not that it's a big deal, but the Derwent ones came inside this sleeve and then inside this lovely tin case. If I can get it open. So the lid's removable, but I like the fact that I can store them after in this tin case, and it keeps them nice and protected so you don't risk breaking the ends or losing them or getting them mixed up in other pencils. It's not a big deal, but I do like that feature. Whereas the Faber Castell just comes in this, sleeve. But I do like that it comes with a brush. So I will be using this brush today just to test it out. And the other thing about the Derwent, it only comes in 3 different leads. So it actually comes with 2 HBs, 2 4Bs, and 2 8Bs. So you get 2 of each, which I like that you get 2 of them. But the Faber Castell ones actually come in different grades. So you get 1 HB, 1 2B, 1 4B, 1 6B, and 1 8B. So they're both ranging from light to dark. It's just you get doubles with this one, and then you get a little bit more variety with the Faber Castell. So they've both, got some different pluses and cons to them. But let's just get right into it. So I think I'll start off with the Derwent. And what I'm going to do is just lay the pencil down. So I'm going to try each one. This one, it'll be only 3 of them that we try. But I'm going to try each one, and then I'm going to try doing like a gradient going from light to dark and just seeing how they swatch out. I've got 2 jars of water here, one for clean water and one to clean off my brush, just like I would with any sort of watercolor or water soluble thing. So let's see if I can see. Okay, this is the light. So it's a light wash and it's HB. So we'll put, this is Derwent. And in case you're wondering, today I'm just using the Canson XL watercolor paper. This is 140 pound. It's not cotton paper, but I like it when I'm doing swatches or just little quick pieces to see how products work. It gives a good idea. Okay, so this is the Derwent HB. And we'll see how that blends out and then how far we can get that out. And then this one is the medium wash. So this is the 4B. And I'm not going to bother sharpening them because, for this purpose, you don't really need them that sharp. And this is the dark wash, 8B. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't know if you guys can see this, but as I'm swatching them, there's not a whole lot of difference, between the colors. So you would think the HB would be significantly lighter when you're laying it down. And for all of these swatches, I used a light to medium pressure just because I really wanted it to show up and to see how it would blend. But I did use the same pressure for each one, and I can tell maybe a slight difference between the HB and the 4B, but not a whole lot between the 4B and the HB. And even when I did this gradient out, like, it's really hard to tell. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's really hard to tell the difference between them. So I'm going to get this little brush out, and then we will try blending them out. And actually I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel too. Give me 1 second. Now I'm not sure, because this is the first time I'm doing it, I'm not sure how much water I'll need to make these spread out, but I've got my brush wet, and then I just tapped off any excess, so it's damp, but it's not runny wet, and we'll see. So this is the HB. So for just one little pass, most of the pigment pretty much dissolved. I just see a little bit of graininess there, but I just did a light pass with the water, so I'm actually, pretty impressed how much of that actually dissolved. So we'll try the 4B. So again, that pretty much dissolved all of it too. Again, like maybe there's a slight darkness to it, but it's really hard to tell. And I'm just trying to do one pass over them all. So we'll do the 8B. Okay, so I'm going to hold this so you guys can see it a little closer. But when I'm doing the swatches and trying to drag the color out, I'm not seeing a huge amount of difference. They really do look the same. The only thing I noticed was the HB didn't have enough pigment to really drag out the color far, but the other two did. When I did do the gradient though, I did notice a slight difference in color, but I'm not sure if that's because as I was going, I was dragging more of the graphite pigment to the next one, and then dragging more of that to the next one, so it kind of built up. So then I decided to do these swatches on their own, and I just did light to medium pressure, just a little square, and I just wetted it so I wasn't dragging the color out. And again, like these two are really hard to tell the difference, but the 8B was a bit darker, so I do like that. But you know what? If I'm just doing like using these like for the sketch, the bottom sketch, I don't really need to be there to be like a whole lot of difference between them. So I kind of quite like that the 4B and the HB are the same, because now I have like 4 pencils that I could use for that job instead of just 2. But if you were trying to make a complete piece out of this, I feel like there's not quite enough difference between the gradients unless you built up color. And maybe that could do that. Maybe I'll try going over this again after, once it's dried, to see if we can build up those values maybe. But yeah, so this is the Derwents. And let's go in and try our Faber Castells. So I'm going to try to get these in the right order. So we've got HB, 2B, 4B, 6B. They're kind of, some of them are shiny, so it's hard to see. It's weird. Oh, okay, there's 2 sides to it. One side, it's white, so it's a little easier to see. And then the other side, it's like shiny, so it's a little harder to see. 4B, 6B, 8B. Okay, so we'll do the same thing with our Faber Castells. Okay, so right off the bat after swatching, I am starting to see a nice little gradient with the Faber Castell, so I can clearly see that the HB is significantly lighter than the 8B. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see there's a difference with all of these. So we'll see how it looks once we've added the water to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I've done with the Derwent. Okay, so I hope you guys can see the difference there. I can see a huge difference between the two. So the Faber Castell, you can see a clear gradient, a clear difference. And I have to say, so these ones, there's still a little bit of grit in there. They did blend out pretty well, but you can tell it's still a little bit gritty. I tried to do just one pass for each one. However, if you probably went over it again and again, it would, you know, dissolve a little bit more. But I have to say the Faber Castell, they blend it out just so smooth. There's no grit that you can see in there. The gradient is a big difference compared to the Derwent. And I don't want to say anything bad about Derwent because I love Derwent products. I have the light fast full range pencils and I love them. I have a lot of their other products. But I just have to say the Faber Castell did blend out just a little bit more smoothly. And the gradient, so if you're looking for that, if you really want like a light to dark difference, the Faber Castell would be your go-to. If you're looking for a set of pencils that maybe are a little more close, you're going to use them all for the same thing, like just, you know, your bottom sketch outline, and you just want it to dissolve as you're doing your artwork or your painting, then the Derwent might be a little bit more for you. You just might want to lay it on maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner, and so hopefully you don't get as much graininess. So I kind of like them both for two different things, but I hope you guys liked this comparison, and I hope it gave you a little bit more of an idea of what each pencil brand and set could do for you and what you're looking for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below in the description. Let me know if you've tried these pencils out before and which one's your favorite. I have yet to really use them in a piece, so I can't really say which one's my favorite. I think I'll be using them for two different purposes, really. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.